I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm Dee. This is Nylon Knee High AJ. We're coming at you with Season 6, Episode 28, Mountains of Mayhem. AJ is going to attempt to scare me with some hiking horror stories with our upcoming trip tomorrow. So for additional content, find us on Patreon, Instagram, and pointsopressure.com. Let's get to it, cutie pies.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
You okay? You just pull a muscle?
Yeah, my tongue just seized up.
Oh no! You got
I opened my jaw too wide to fucking
to
suck the microphone. Dick.
Oh, I hate that. I know exactly what that is. It's kind of like the underjaw.
It's like a Charlie horse in my tongue. Yeah.
Oh well, we gotta
I haven't been sucking dick off.
Yeah,
fuck.
We gotta correct your electrolytes so that doesn't happen on our trip.
At least
together.
I can still talk. At least I'm not like.
That's good. You're like
make for an interesting episode.
Yeah.
We're recording Sunday night.
Oh, that would suck. We're gonna be so fucking tired and stanky.
I hate it because I'm like I should have called out on Monday, or I should have requested Monday off, but
yeah,
call out. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we should get back pretty early.
Oh yeah, honestly, it's mainly downhill.
Oh yeah, the way back.
Yeah, I think we'll be just
except
fine.
for the beginning.
Yeah,
we'll be
a little sleepy on Sunday, but it won't be anything
good. Eat my weight in fast
MREs,
food, probably.
Yeah.
John, after we get home.
Oh, after we get back.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat 3,600 calories and MREs for dinner that night.
Oh God.
I will have the worst shit of my life.
Jesus, yeah. Sodium shits. That's
oh,
for sure.
Yeah.
Preservative poops.
Lots of that.
But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a grand old time.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty hyped up for it. I've been wanting to do a trip like this for a long ass time, but nothing's like lined up with work and school and just being a busy, stupid human.
Yeah.
You know, can't.
Yeah, busy fatso. It'll get you every time.
It gets me every fucking time. So yeah, it'll be fun. We're going. I'm not telling you where we're going, but we are going into a wilderness zone, which is super cool. Yeah. No bears.
Yeah, even if there were
big cats.
Oh,
so that'll be fine though.
Got some hot cougars out there.
Oh hell yeah! In your area.
Cougars in your area.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I was looking up kind of the catalyst that started this. I didn't know what I was going to do this episode on. We're recording super early. This has to be the earliest we've ever recorded ahead. It's got to be close.
No, when I went to Vegas, we had to record on a Wednesday.
I thought today was Wednesday.
No.
It is Thursday.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's Monday.
Yeah, we record
Monday.
live.
Yeah, this is live right now. You listening to this live, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
So I started searching for Utah legends because I think those are the funniest.
Wow, you're gonna dox us like that?
Shit, yeah, because nobody knows we're in Utah, the butt crack of the West.
We've certainly never brought it up.
Yeah,
before.
never. But no, I started looking up some local legends because they are literally the worst. It's not like out east where there's all this lore and people have lived there for hundreds of years more than people have lived in Utah.
Yeah.
Than the white people who've lived in Utah, I should specify.
Yeah.
So
God.
It's hard to get good urban legends and like just legends in general, but there's some great ones like the Dream Mine. Have you heard of the Dream Mine? Some fucking crazy Mormon right after they outlawed polygamy started having visions that he would open up this mine and he would know where to put the mine because he would see a bull who took out its own eye with its own horn.
Turns out he was just eating those.
He was just eating mushrooms.
He was eating
and
those
shit.
boysenberries that you're not supposed to eat on the bushes out here.
And he claims he saw this cow. It was missing an eye.
Next to a burning bush.
Yeah, and a UFO was there. We're going to talk about Kolob this episode. Now look that up if you want to know how fucking crazy Mormons are.
That's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. But he said he found the cow. So he said, okay, that's the spot. I'm going to mine it out. And he got all these investors because he was this prophetic vision-having Mormon. Yeah. So a bunch of people paid. It's to this day, it has never produced any usable ore. It is still maintained. There are still shareholders.
Damn it.
Even the church has come out and said, what the fuck are you doing? But his vision says, when the church needs a financial bailout, we're going to hit gold in this mine.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, so millions have been
Jesus
spent there.
Christ.
The current shareholders are basically a small cult who rent out like a house on the property, and that's how they make most of their money, and then tours sometimes.
Oh my God, of course.
Fantastic.
It's the Utah County way.
Yeah, and then you get, all the, Incan gold, Aztec gold, and all this shit, which, I mean, there is some truth to the fact that those groups of indigenous peoples and the conquistadors after them did make it into Utah. That's true. As far as I've been able to tell, as far as history's been able to tell.
Yeah, according to the Book of Mormon.
According to the book.
True.
No, there are definitely signs of expeditions from the conquistadors, from the Incas, or from the Aztecs and stuff. But, the legend is Montezuma's gold is buried in a lake outside of Kanab or something.
As legend has it, Montezuma himself buried his safe of $7 million in the mountains in Utah.
Yeah.
So go out and fucking find
Let's
it.
do it. Why do you think we're going there? So there's. I also found another legend of they found this old miner was down in Mexico doing some prospecting, and they were going to destroy one of these old conquistador missions. So for some reason, they let this random ass dude go in and look through the shit before they tear it down, and it's just loaded full of documents, as if whoever was tearing this place down wouldn't just take the documents and give them to a museum or whatever.
Yeah.
And said that there were.
When you said it, I just imagined actual filing cabinets, and I was like, "What
filing
the fuck?"
cabinets. Yeah, Aztec filing cabinets, and apparently there was this map of this mountain range, and it's oh, that looks like the mountains in southern Utah. So we went up there, and they found, and after years of prospecting,
just roughly sketched triangles that don't have a bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "Wow, that
That's
looks just
exactly
like
it."
Utah."
Yeah.
God damn.
So the story is he goes to the town and says, "I found it," and because after years of prospecting with his team, he was like, "Oh, that looks just like the drawing," because it was photorealistic or something. I don't know. And it hasn't changed over the thousands of years or whatever, the hundreds, maybe 1,000 years. So he and his team go down to the entrance, and it's concreted over. But it's old concrete made of dirt and clay and bone meal, and I mean that is a way to create bricks and things like that.
Something an Aztec ghost would put up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were trying to dig through it, but they didn't have the tools, so they took a sample and got it analyzed, and it was animal remains and dirt and clay, and they're like, this is definitely, they didn't say indigenous person. They probably said some choice words, some slurs. So they
God.
and then they lost it or something. I don't know. They never found it again. I don't fucking know why. If you I wouldn't leave. If I found something like that, I wouldn't leave. I would tell you, go to the car with your phone, get an archaeologist up here. I don't give a shit.
I'm staying where I am. And
I'm
if
not
I
leaving.
Die here, I die here.
Exactly. I would do that.
Take this string. I'll hold
I'll
one end
hold
of it.
the other end.
Take this bread. Just drop little breadcrumbs on the way.
Kill a bird every couple of feet and just leave it.
God.
So, interestingly enough,
Set a fire, we'll find it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, my grandfather, the one or saw,
Yeah.
he told me the story about how one of his uncles. It was the exact same story, but it was his uncle. It was the exact to the T. But he said, it was my uncle. He said he did this, and then he just never went back. Well, the only difference was that he said he got a phone call in the middle of the night after talking about finding it and getting the stuff analyzed. If I needed something analyzed, I wouldn't fucking know where to go.
I also wouldn't take it to your grandfather's, son.
Oh, yeah.
Or his uncle?
His uncle.
Okay, his uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it to your grandfather's side of the family, especially anyone older than him. No, I'm not going to get that shit analyzed by any of them.
No, so he said that, the uncle found it. And did all this stuff, and then that night he got like a phone call that said, "Never talk about this again, or we'll kill your family," or something. I don't know. I kind of zoned it out after that.
And he told you, did he
great
tell
story.
it to you at a campfire?
No,
God damn it.
it would have been better.
Yeah.
And then
I like
even
that he
have-
tells the story like identical. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
just at the end, he's like, I like to imagine right at the end, he's like, and it's crazy because that man that I just told you about, that was your uncle.
Oh.
It's
Ah.
like such a shitty little footnote to add at the
Yeah.
end. It's like,
No.
okay, Grandpa,
So
it's time for your medicine.
I actually do have a family member by marriage who spends a lot of time up in the mountains looking for Spanish conquistador gold and Aztec gold
I
and
think
stuff.
you've talked about
We've
it.
talked about it a little bit.
before.
Super tight-lipped. Won't say a thing about it. It's kind of that situation where you see a rock with a cool hole in it, and they see a marker
Yeah.
or something like.
An ancient coin. Yeah.
Yeah, an ancient coin, but it's just a rock. It's a pebble. It's a skipping stone, the perfect skipping stone. It's got JFK on it. How'd they know?
Oh my God.
Holy
Jesus
shit.
is in my toast.
Yeah. So I love Utah legends. So I tried to find one in the area we're going. Not really legends, besides the Spanish gold. And we're not even near Kanab. Like, most of the Spanish gold stuff is southern Utah.
Oh, great.
Oh,
now
no.
they know.
We're somewhere in the top half of Utah. Ah!
Oh, God. In wilderness territory. Oh, that's even more specific.
Oh, no, just thousands of square miles that they could be in. Oh,
shit.
fuck. No, but
You might
There's
as well
some-
just drop a ping on Instagram.
yeah, there's some, okay. There's some, mild legends of indigenous gold and shit like that. And the only real thing that I could find is that somebody on a forum somewhere said that in the late 90s, in that area, south of where we're going to be, there was a cabin that was pretty much torn down because they were trying to do some, like, assaying for mining.
Oh,
There's
okay.
some mines probably out there.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense with the area.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
fair, yeah.
copper-rich. Utah has a lot of those minerals and shit.
Yeah.
So
A lot of gold mining.
A lot of
too,
gold
allegedly.
mining, yeah. Oh, God, my favorite thing is going through the forums, and they're just like, yeah, well, I saw these gold fingers and all this, because the legend is they would stick their finger into the dirt and then pour the gold into it, and then it would come out as a gold finger, which I did not check if that was true at all. But I think it's
sounds-
ridiculous, because if the ground is soft enough that you could put your finger through it, I'm pretty sure the gold would leach a little bit more and wouldn't make a
Yeah.
perfect... Yeah. So, I don't know. I love legends, but I can't really entertain them with much critical thinking.
Oh, it's fair. I don't.
So I ask you, the listeners, and you, Dee, to set aside your critical thinking for some of these stories.
I will try so
But also
fucking
don't
hard.
try that hard, because it's funnier if they're just an idiot. And there are a couple stories where I'm like, this person just doesn't know something. Something that I
Yeah.
know about.
Yeah.
And they got freaked out. and now it's a story on the internet.
Fantastic. I love, like, just super weird offhand, not fairy tales, legends like this
Oh, yeah.
that are just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, seriously?
Yeah, but I love them. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love hearing
I
them.
absolutely
Yeah.
love it. I love
I
hearing
think
these
it's
stories,
so
even
fun
though...
to read
Yeah.
and hear.
Well, I'm a big believer that most legends have an ounce of truth somewhere.
Yeah.
And I also know there's a lot of weird shit in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of activity before, the diseases of the white man showed up. It was like, what's it called? What's that cave by Wendover? I can't remember. But there's a huge cave that was a huge settlement for indigenous peoples at some point,
Jesus.
with potentially hundreds of years of habitation, basically a city.
Jeez.
And you can't go into it, which is fine because it's a current archaeological dig. But I tried.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to see if I could.
It's always
But,
worth a shot.
yeah, it's super cool. The local museum has a lot of the shit in there, if you're interested. But let's start with the first story.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a ghost. That
This
wasn't
is-
the microphone.
Most of this is first person, and I'm just gonna read it.
Yeah.
I'll throw
These
a
are
spin
all
on it if I
your
need.
journal.
These are my.
They're
This is
all
my
your
journal.
journal entries.
Yeah. Imagine that this is all me. I am a paranoid schizophrenic at this point.
Every time he goes on a hike, it's always,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Oh. No, I've only
AJ.
ever had one weird hike experience, and it was because I was extremely dehydrated and I was visually hallucinating.
Nice.
Yeah, there was some weird shadow thing, kind of like human-shaped but still shadowy, and it just looked around the tree at me, and I'm like, I need to get to the car right now. I'm out of water, and I'm hallucinating.
That's crazy. They call those shadows
Yeah.
in real life, I believe.
Yeah, I believe
They're
so.
usually connected to your feet or whatever's
Yeah,
touching
the
the ground.
weird thing is that this was connected to a tree, and it had arms. All right, so I've spent various stretches of time backpacking and camping throughout the U.S. and seen some strange things. Now I'm starting the story. That was me. Now I'm starting the story.
Yeah, okay. This part, from here on out.
Yeah, from here on out.
This is the new story.
My brother and I came across an abandoned trailer town of sorts, and it scared the hell out of us. We also came across a rundown town that was really, really small out in New Mexico that seemed to have one person living in it.
Okay, pause.
Okay.
Trailer Town sounds like they're in West Virginia. They're hiking in the Appalachians.
No, they're
I feel
they're
like
west.
that's just
they
what
are west.
I know.
That's
but
the
like,
weird thing.
When you hear Trailer Town, it's like,
Appalachians.
yeah, you just
Yeah.
happen to
Kentucky
stumble on
somewhere,
a community
or,
of
West Virginia,
yeah,
or
and a community of
meth doers.
brothers and sisters that have been sleeping together for ages.
Oh yeah, I saw that X-Files episode. They based the fact that they think one person was still living in the town because there was.
Whoa!
What?
What perspective is this from?
I change it. I told you. Okay, we based that on the fact that there was some food and supplies there that were fairly fresh, only a couple days old. They spent a couple days there trying to find the person just to find out why they were staying in the town. Fucking psychos. If I think somebody's staying in the area,
Dude,
I'm
no,
getting
get the
out.
fuck out. Yeah, you don't know if they own the land.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
you
know
don't know if
they're
you're trespassing.
on meth.
Yeah. And if it's a
I don't know if
trailer
they're
town,
human
Jesus Christ.
trafficking. Like, I don't want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know, but I'm not going to hang around and find out.
Yeah, so they never found a person, but this other event, they found, we found a bunch of skeletal remains of an unknown number of deer.
Oh, I was going to say, like, if human bodies, snag a skull.
Right?
If you ever find a human skeleton,
I'll pay for shipping.
grab the skull, and we'll
Yeah.
pay you for it.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
how cool would it be to
that
just
would be
have
so
it?
cool.
Boop, right
no,
there.
I will. One day I will get a legal skull.
I don't care
for
if
here.
it haunts me when I sleep.
No, this'll
I'm
be a
like, I don't
legal
give a
one.
shit. Yeah. No, even if it's illegal, like I don't.
Yeah.
A skull
That would
in
be so
here
cool.
would be fucking awesome.
It would be awesome. So they're up in the Ozarks, and they find a 10-foot by 10-foot area of barbed wire fence.
Oh
And
shit!
the fence is just packed with deer bones. Like, they got caught on the fence, died, and the bones are just kind of strewn.
Damn.
And,
You should
and
try
then,
climbing it.
Yeah. And then right in the middle of the 10-foot by 10-foot area is just a post. And it had 2 deer, like, wrapped around the post, wrapped in wire. In the middle of nowhere.
Damn.
Some psycho shit.
That's some
I love
weird,
that.
weird shit.
We found a mannequin hanging from a tree in the Yukon Territory of Canada. Middle of the woods, not even near a trail.
There's a famous YouTuber that actually found that same thing, but he recorded himself in
Yeah.
a Chinese forest.
Wasn't
And
that a
still
Japanese
uploaded it.
forest?
I don't fucking know.
Fucking racist.
All I know is that he's a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah. No, this is more
Yeah.
related to that. We also came across a dead junkie on the road out of Olympia. Obvious. I don't know why I laughed at that.
Is this all the same guy?
Yeah. Yeah, these ones
You.
are the same. Me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was an obvious OD because he still had his arm tied up and a needle still in the arm. His eyes were just glazed over. His mouth was open.
Was he fucking dead?
Oh, he's dead.
Oh shit!
Just OD'd
Okay.
right then.
I thought I thought they were like, oh yeah, we just stumbled on somebody that was shooting up, and I was like, okay,
No,
that's
dead.
crazy.
Called the cops, blah, blah, blah. New person. I really should have had a transition or something, but I love this shit.
Just put their Reddit username down.
Yeah. It wasn't on Reddit, actually.
I was gonna say
only
this,
like 2
these
of them
feel
are
like
from Reddit.
comments.
Only like 2. This one was interesting. Gotta be from like somewhere near the Mammoth Cave system out
Which
east.
is- oh okay.
It's a huge cave system.
Jesus.
With a lot of legends and lore and shit like that. So I took my young children out to a cave not far from my house.
Kids?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I'm gonna do this every
I know.
time. I don't even care.
It was a popular spot, but at the time nobody was around. Had it to ourselves, so you can walk through the cave in about 30 minutes. It's pretty easy. Good for kids. Just go have fun, explore. You're not gonna find any like open pits and you're gonna die or something.
You're not gonna find any dead junkies.
Yeah, you're not gonna pull a Boy Scout and just crack your head somewhere and die. So, the other side has an exit. It's tiny, but most people just walk in, turn around, walk back. Easy peasy. So it was pretty muddy. So before getting to the entire end, they turned around, decided to head back to the entrance. About halfway back, there was a lit candle sitting 8 feet up on a rock on one side.
Hell yeah.
And it was definitely not there when they walked in.
I love that.
Isn't that fucking terrifying?
That's terrifying, but it's also like,
Why would somebody do that?
Because people are
Besides
shitheads.
to fuck with somebody.
With them, yeah.
Or they're insane.
So for me, Saturday, when we have all day to just take it easy and chill.
We're going to be making little twig dolls and shit.
Yeah. I 100% want to make some of that like little tiny creepy like just figures and like weird shapes and shit with sticks and twine.
Okay, I'm down.
And just like drop it on the trail because people will lose their shit. Like,
oh, I love that. Are we going to start our own legend on this trail?
I have always wanted to. I've showed my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, we watched some show forever ago that was called like the Chestnut Man or something. And it's like some Swedish.
Is it a porno?
No, it's a Swedish show.
The Wicker Man?
No.
Oh.
And it's like
Midsummer.
At these murders, they're just these little like chestnut stick people.
Little dudes, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, that shit would fuck with people in Utah. Like,
oh yeah,
like
yeah. Let's do it.
Hiking, and they see these little things and they're like, oh.
Well, if we make enough of them, or while we're waiting around for our water to purify, we can just all over the place. We can strewn them all over. Yeah. Over the place. I mean, the area.
It's literally just a matter of like, whoop, you just drop it, just drop it on the trail.
Somebody will find it.
I think it's so fucking goofy. And so for this, like,
yeah, if
I imagine somebody's just chilling. They're like. They have a candle on them. They watch these people, like, they're a little bit behind them. They watch them walk in, and they're like, oh, this would be hilarious. And they just set a candle down halfway.
I still think it's
light it. Oh, it's creepy.
It's 8 feet up, so it was 2 people.
Oh, okay.
Or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was 4 kids in a trench coat.
It was 4 kids in a trench coat who they had to dress like that to buy the lighter, too.
Yeah. But I love that. Like,
I love it, but it's also terrifying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I should have kept it. Not knowing your love for freaking people out. I should have kept the story. This dude found these weird rock altars. He's in Australia. He finds these weird rock altars with like animal skulls and weird shit going on. And like 3 months later, they catch a serial killer who used altars all over the bush in New South Wales to murder people.
That's
and
crazy.
He just found one, didn't say anything about it,
it's
didn't
like,
know that it was humans.
It's like a few years ago when somebody put that like
the obelisk.
Yeah. When they just put it out there, I'm like, I love it because
so
many people are like, "What
was
the
it?
Fuck?
Aliens?
What the fuck?" And I'm like, "No, it was
it's
just
obvious. It's just
somebody.
some dude.
It's somebody that's like, oh yeah, fuck it, just fucking sticks it down. I'll do this in another state in 2 months.
Let's call it art. Let's call it an art project so that we don't go to prison.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious, and it's like people just get so fucked up about it because like venturing out of your neighborhood is such a like, whoa, what the fuck could be going on out here?
Yeah, it's way outside of a lot of people's comfort zones nowadays.
Love it.
It's really good. I love
it.
that kind of stuff.
Especially if it scares kids off of trails.
Oh, even better. I hate kids.
The other thing that I really want to try doing, I don't know, we probably won't be able to do it on this trip, but have you ever like snuck into an old lady's house and strangled her?
Yeah.
I have always wanted to do that.
We should do that. We'll find another campsite, kill him and make it look like a bear attack.
Dude,
mountain lion attack.
I love scaring people. Like
It's so funny. Seeing the fear in their eyes as their life is being extinguished is so funny. We got them. I've been drinking the right amount for this podcast.
Is that wine?
No, that is Mountain Dew cocktail. Half vodka, half Mountain Dew. Diet.
Oh,
Thank you.
I see.
I'm watching my sugar intake.
Ooh.
Not at all. So, yeah, just freaked out. Walked him back to the car. Didn't see anybody. My favorite stories are from old people from like the 80s because there's no cell phones.
Yeah.
So many people are just out flying by the seat of their pants. Just what
dude.
the fuck is happening?
And then even earlier than that, you have like
yeah.
the 50s when people are doing shit, and it's like they didn't even know about like visual effects. Like,
Yeah.
Like the scariest thing was what they could think up or what they heard someone describe on the radio.
Yeah, yeah. So when they see something like some weird gremlin like us making little dolls, that would scare the bejesus out of
The
them.
hills have eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this happened back in the 80s when this person was in their 20s. On occasion, I would go car camping with my yellow tiger cat, Oberon.
Oh, cool guy.
Overbite, drooling, old cat with a loud purr. And they would just go camping. Like, basically, they would drive up in their, what's an 80s car? Wood-paneled...
I'm going to make you keep guessing.
What's that car
got
called?
this.
I
You
can't
got
remember
this.
what that's called. Station wagon. A
Yeah.
wood-paneled station wagon with a cat in the front seat. And he just really liked going out on car trips, up some old logging roads with the cat, and then setting up, bringing lunch, bringing dinner, setting up a tent, or even just a tarp, or just sleeping on the ground and just enjoying himself. Sounds amazing, honestly.
Anybody that has a cat that like goes on a leash and they take them on hikes
It's not
and
a
shit.
leash.
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying, like, if you have a cat that's like trained well enough that they do that kind of stuff, you are immediately the coolest person in my book. Like, anybody can fucking take a dog on a leash, and fucking dogs are just, they're goofy.
They're good,
They're
yeah.
goofy good boys.
They're
like,
always
they're just
down.
dumb, yeah. They're sweet, but they're obedient. But cats, like, you got to have a good fucking cat to do
Yeah.
that. And that cat is always so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just to imagine, like, not even on the leash, this guy's just walking and he's got a cat alongside him.
Mm-hmm.
I dream of being like 80 years old and doing that.
Hell yeah. I don't dream of being 80 years old. I want to be dead by then.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, he would bird watch with his cat, read, maybe do some painting, chill 80s shit,
Yeah.
which it still sounds amazing. I would do this if, I didn't have to work my entire life away. And basically, he would just let the cat out, and the cat would just walk around and never went too far. And
Drink dark liquor and
Yeah.
shoot heroin. It was the 80s.
yeah,
Fuck
it was the 80s.
Why
Do
not?
some coke. No, you would usually bring a beer, a sandwich, and some chips or something. So they're just they're going on a walk. The cat's kind of going down towards a creek or something, and so he follows it, and they're chilling out, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta, let's go back. It's dinner time." Bring the cat back because before he left, he'd set up his lunch. It was a sandwich in foil, cloth napkin on a placemat.
Ooh, damn.
Unopened bottle of dark beer.
Yep.
And some cookies and a bowl of kibble for Oberon. And they came back, and it was beautiful. Warm, kind of breezy, sunny. 15 minutes, max. He picks up the cat, walks back to Cam. They're like, all right, it's dinner time, let's go. And the foil from a sandwich was crumpled into a ball. The beer was empty. The bottle opener was just next to the beer. The cookies are gone. The sandwich is gone. The napkin is folded on the plate with the fork right across. Or with a knife laid right across it. And he just kind of looks around. He's like, what the fuck? He's like hours up a logging road. He's like, who the fuck ate my lunch? And he starts getting like that gut feeling of like, oh shit, somebody's here. Like, I'm being watched. I don't know what the fuck is happening. So he ran for the car, threw the cat in, started the car, and just gunned it down the logging road.
Jesus.
And he has a heart attack because he's like, not a real heart attack. He sits there like, he has a little panic attack because as he's careening down this logging road, he's like, what if the person's in my back seat?
Oh God, dude.
So he's like shaking, pulls over the car, looks in the back seat. Nobody's in there.
God damn.
And then he was murdered. No.
Yeah, right.
And he didn't camp for a couple of months.
I don't
It
blame him.
really freaked him out. The next day he went back with some friends to get his gear and stuff, but didn't see anybody.
That shit's spooky, but it's like somebody. I don't think it was one person that fucked with him. I think it was like a couple. Somebody just fucking threw the beer back, chugged the whole thing while two other people were just eating.
It sounds like a kind of thing if you and I were like, wouldn't it be funny if we ate this guy's lunch?
Yeah. So, we have a couple drinks in us and we're like, yo, let's just eat their fucking food.
Yeah. I would never do that.
Chug his beer real quick. It'll be funny.
It would be funny.
Yeah.
Shotgun that glass bottle.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Classic. Fucking swallowing glass shards.
That's like a
it was
like
for a
Stalt
good prank. Good
on
prank,
YouTube.
bro.
Did you hear about him?
No.
Got drunk, accidentally knocked over his bottle of sake at a sushi place. That, you know how the bottles, they thin spot and then they go back big? That top part had sheared off.
No.
So he picked it up and was like, it's fine. People weren't really paying attention to him. There were a lot of people at the table, and he just kept pouring out of that bottle. A couple hours later, he was on an airplane.
Yeah.
And his gut starts not feeling good.
Yeah.
Get to the airport for his layover.
Fucking hell,
and
dude.
he fills the toilet with blood.
Yeah.
It takes him 5 days of shitting blood before it gets better.
Dude.
Because he didn't go to the doctor because he lives in New York and nobody has money for that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody has money. Even with insurance, you can't afford to go to a doctor.
God damn.
Yeah, he was very lucky he did not like perforate his bowel or something.
Jesus.
But yeah, there we go. That's another weird story.
God damn.
This is from a friend from college. She was in middle school when this happened. She went on a hiking trip with a club. So this must have been in like the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
For a middle school club to go hiking. Yeah. It started to get dark, so the older group of people, kind of the leaders of the group, were like, all right, let's head back.
So it's either the 80s or in like 1942.
Yeah.
She was a member of Hitler Youth.
Yeah, exactly. Just the German-American Bund. Yeah. Or the fucking League of German Girls. So yeah, she quickly realizes that although the leaders aren't saying anything, they are completely lost.
Oh my God.
It's getting darker. It's getting darker. They don't know where they're at. They stumble across a cabin. Just a small cabin. So they're like, fuck. We may as well just go knock on the door and ask if we could stay.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting out of here tonight. I don't know where the fuck we are.
Bad choice.
So they knock on the door. There's no answer. They knocked a couple times. Nothing.
And the door slowly swung open.
Well, they tried the handle and it was unlocked. So they opened the door.
God.
And they freaked out because along the wall were several pairs of shoes and like hiking shoes and boots and stuff. Just along the wall.
Okay. Maybe a big family.
Yeah.
Maybe a serial killer.
And then all along the other wall were a bunch of just bed frames.
Were the corresponding feet to the shoes.
Yeah, the heads. Now, it was a couple bed frames.
Okay.
And then the walls were covered in writing.
Oh.
Like, every inch of them was covered in little writing. They panic. The whole group freaks out. And they're saying, do we leave?
Yeah.
Do we stay? Like, what the
fuck
do we do?
Should I stay or should I go?
Now. So they actually stayed. They just like...
Oh, my God,
They just didn't touch anything. They stayed in the middle of the floor. And they didn't get any sleep, but the second the sun started to come up, they booked it out of there.
Okay, so this is definitely 70s, because this is before Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Nobody would fucking stay in a
there.
cabin like that.
But there's also... I think they freaked out over nothing.
Yeah.
Because...
I mean, nobody was there.
There are a ton of cabins in, like, BLM areas or Bureau of Land Management areas or, like, public lands that... It's a cabin. It's been there for 100 years. People who hike in the area stay in it. They drop off gear.
Man,
they clean it out. No, it's all over the place. There are many
I'm
of
just
them
saying,
here.
I would love to have one.
Oh yeah, to have one would be awesome. Yeah, Steve Wallace stayed at one a couple months ago, probably. And yeah, a lot of times they'll have extra shoes. They'll have some bed frames thrown up there. A lot of times they're just set up for, oh, you're stranded in the woods overnight, or you're hiking in the area. Yeah, just stay.
Hey,
and it's kind of like
easy to get lost out here.
It's kind of like a giant geocache.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can stay here, and if you have anything extra, leave it. If you need anything, take it guilt-free. Like, it's here for it. And it's super common that people will write their trail names on the walls and the date.
That's fair.
So I think they just found a cabin that was literally there for this exact situation.
That makes sense, yeah.
But they didn't know that those exist, and they panicked.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of middle school kids.
Yeah.
And what, three to five adults that got lost on a trail with middle school kids. So I don't think they really have a grand background.
Yeah, probably not. But, like, I mean, I knew about it in middle school.
Yeah, well, you're also fucking autistic.
Weirdo, yeah.
Like, you're a camping autist. Like,
hey, I'm not diagnosed because I refuse to go to the doctor because it's too expensive. No, I just love that because it's really that the fear of the unknown is the scariest shit.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife about
absolutely.
like scary movies and about what we consider good scary movies versus bad scary movies. Mm-hmm. And really it comes down to what they don't show you versus what they do. The fear of the unknown and the fear that your mind can create is a million times scarier than anything I can be shown on a screen.
Well, yeah, think about the scariest movie that we've watched together, The Wailing, that Korean movie.
Oh, yeah.
None of us had any fucking idea what was going on.
What the fuck was happening.
And it was scary as shit.
Terrifying.
And it ends and it concludes and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Even like Hereditary is, until the end, you don't see really much of anything. The horror is mundane shit and just weird shit that kind of makes you feel uneasy.
I feel like, a lot of it is just the performances in that movie, too.
Oh, yeah. They did so good.
Yeah.
And, like, the first Conjuring. That was that was the first, like, scary movie I had ever seen that I was like, oh, that's actually, like, freaky. That's, like, that had my attention.
Yeah.
And they don't show jack shit until the last 10 minutes. And I love that in movies. I love wait, what the fuck was that? Or like Sinister with the movie reels.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much shit in the background that you just don't notice. Or
until the very end.
Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yes, I've seen that one. And
the shit in the background of that one was fucking impeccable.
There's one a couple of years ago, Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots 3.
So scary.
So scary. But yeah, it's that fear of the unknown that really, it'll get you every time.
It's hard to do. That's the thing.
It really is. Yeah. You have to really know, or be Raimi, Sam Raimi.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, but that's because there wasn't a budget, so they couldn't show anything. That's why old horror movies are good. Yeah. But then at the same time, you have
it was also
thing.
such a new concept for people too.
Oh yeah. I wish I could be raised in this, like, everything is great and there's no problems and everything is fantastic, and then horror movies
Somebody
come
needs to come along and make America great again like that, or something.
Jesus Christ. I can't wait to bring my AR-15 on this hike. Fucking blow the balls off.
This is our last episode. I'm canceling
Jesus Christ, yeah. We deserve it. So my family used to have a cabin on a lake in the Northwoods. It's a lake with no public access. On the other side was an old, like, Girl Scout camp.
Oh, okay.
That the state was just like, nobody goes here. We're not paying for it. We're just going to let it fall apart. They had a large 2-story, like, main house building that was mostly intact, and then a couple outbuildings and stuff, like any scout camp, really. Mm. So my sister and her husband decided to go and check out the camp one day. I would be there all the fucking time because that's cool.
Yeah. Holy shit.
But so they canoed over. They started walking around. And they went to the main house, walked around for a little bit, and then they heard heavy footsteps above them on the second story.
Okay.
Like thump, thump, thump. Then they're like, what the fuck was that? And then it goes thump, 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 and it's running towards where the stairs are.
Uh-oh.
At the far end of the hall. So they freak out, as you would.
Yeah.
They book it out of the house, but they can still hear the footsteps. They can hear them on the stairs now. They can hear somebody coming down the stairs.
Jesus.
And they panicked. They ran around the house instead of back to the canoes. And they heard somebody come outside of the house.
Jesus.
And they're just hiding in the woods behind the house now. They're like, what the fuck is happening? And they're hiding. They hear somebody go back into the house. And they're like, what's happening? And then they hear someone come back outside. And they hear, like, the crunch of gravel. But whoever it is doesn't come behind the house, just looking basically at their canoes. So they decide to walk back to the cabin.
Christ.
They're not going to go back for that canoes. The next day, the storyteller and his father went back for the canoes, and they didn't see anybody. But
It's just full of
it's just
bullet holes.
yeah, just a human skull.
Yeah. And
No,
machete slice marks in the
like
canoes.
6 pairs of women's shoes,
Yeah. Oh, God.
thoroughly sniffed. But yeah, how nice would it be if you were like squatting at an old abandoned like scout camp? You got
That
the
would be
lake,
so fucking
you got
great.
a 2-story house
Yeah, you've got a bunch of shit to use on the lake that
that was just left
is
behind.
just like out all the time.
Perfect.
Like, and you've got like the not necessarily like I can't say for certain that every scout camp has a really good dining hall, but it definitely has like a Bowery.
Yeah, it would be set.
It'd
You'd
be
have
so
all the
great.
utilities.
Yeah,
A hole in the ground to shit in,
yeah.
and you're not gonna fill that up.
Perfect. Yeah, no, God no.
So yeah, no, I would live at an abandoned scout camp.
That would be sick.
Me and my ex-girlfriend decided to have a date night because we both had the day off work. We did the usual dinner and a movie thing, and afterwards we decided to go for a midnight drive.
Oh shit.
So you know they're driving around about an hour and a half
Whoa.
of that anticipation.
Yeah.
They were basically driving
Roadhead.
around
Yeah.
to get out of town to just go have sex in his
Yeah.
truck somewhere.
That's fair.
So they scoped out a random dirt road. They drove down the road, kind of parked off, and they're just surrounded by forest. And they start getting a little frisky. They get in the back seat. Clothes start
Aw,
coming
shit.
off. And headlights show up.
Uh-oh.
An hour and a half out of town,
That's a fuzz.
headlights show up. And that's what they think. Like, shit, the cops are here. We got to find our clothes.
Nah, it's
like,
just some horny rednecks.
fuck. So they're trying to find, like, their clothing. They're worried it's the cops because they're panicking in the situation, not considering the fact that an hour and a half outside of town, why would a cop be there to find them on a random dirt road?
He knew.
He knew he could smell it.
Mhm.
So, closest house to this road, fucking spam, calling me in the middle of a podcast. The closest house to where they're currently at is 30 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
So really in the middle of nowhere.
So someone's been following them for 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes, yeah. So they see the headlights. It's getting closer, and they realize it's a truck. But they also realize that the headlights aren't going directly towards them. It's kind of off to the side of them.
It's because his differential was broken, so he's doing that weird thing where his
Yeah,
truck's tilted.
yeah, it's
and
tilted.
He's going
I
forward,
love
but it looks like
that.
he's,
But it
he's
looks like he's
drifting.
going sideways. If I could
He's
do that
doing a
on,
Tokyo drift.
if I could do that on purpose, I would love that. So they basically just like duck down in the back seat, and they're like, "Oh, they're not coming for us. But what the fuck is this truck doing out here?" And then they see 2 other teenagers. No,
They just see, they like out loud say, "What the fuck is this truck doing?" And all of a sudden he starts ripping sick donuts out in the middle of
Sick-ass
the fucking
donuts.
field.
he's fucking chugging some
He's
natty
like,
ice,
"Woo!"
some natties, and fucking shooting a gun in the air.
Fucking shirtless.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
shirtless
Jesus.
but wearing overalls.
Yeah.
No, so they're like, what the fuck is happening? 50 feet away, this old Ford F-150 parks. 50 feet away from them.
Okay.
And they're like, what the fuck is happening? A dude gets out, gets a shovel out of the back, and starts digging a hole. So they're just sitting in the back seat. The truck that they're in is black, so they're kind of like invisible against the tree line from where that truck is. And they're just, what the fuck is happening? And for 30 minutes, this dude is digging a hole. And they're like, is he going to bury somebody? Is he going to bury something? But they're like, they don't even want to talk in case he could hear them. He stops digging, and he lifts a box out of the ground.
Uh-oh.
That was buried.
It's his girlfriend.
He puts it in the back of his truck bed, throws the shovel in, and drives off into the night.
Man, nothing like cracking open a cold one.
Yeah, right? It was a cemetery they were parked on. Now they wait in the truck for another 20 minutes before they're like, sure, before they start the truck. But they're like, God, hopefully, like maybe it was a drug stash.
You just fucking drive into the hole by accident.
Yeah, right. But what the fuck did this dude have buried in the middle of nowhere? Probably drugs. Likely drugs. Hopefully not like a murder scene that he's just relocating.
That's where he keeps his cash.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck the banks.
Yeah, you don't trust them banks.
I trust a hole off a dirt road in the middle of nowhere where the kids go to fuck.
I trust my money 10 feet deep.
A 40-minute dig. Jeez.
I gotta work for my money. Get the fuck out of here.
Also, I realized that about half of these have nothing to do with hiking.
Yeah, that's fine. Even if they did, I'm like, no, you could literally
theme,
tell
though.
like a future story of me getting murdered. I'm like, yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's how it happens. I'm
Cool.
ready.
Thanks.
So another family cabin, middle of nowhere on a small lake. 2 other cabins also on the lake, surrounded by forest and flatland. Beautiful. 2 miles away from the cabin is a wildlife reserve. The kids would pretty often, I mean, if you got a family cabin and you're a kid, you go walking.
Yeah.
I did it growing up. You know, anybody who's got a family, I was going to say who's rich enough to have a cabin, we were lucky that my great-grandparents built a cabin in the 70s. Yeah. So we're not rich, but we're just lucky. But, you just go walking. So as kids, they would go out and walk, and if they walked 30 minutes straight in a straight line in the woods, there was like an abandoned old town, essentially, like tiny, like village almost. Mm-hmm. They called it an old settlement. So they would go there and play, and they were like, this is a weird place because, it was a rundown old little place, but the table still had dishes on it. A lot of the closets still had clothes in there, but it had been destroyed for a long time. There were broken down cars all over the place.
The chairs still had people in there.
Yeah, weird. In one house, the floor had caved in, and there were about 40 pairs of women's shoes scattered around the hole. So they're like,
Christ.
So that kind of convinced them not to play.
Did they give the address? Because that's probably Quentin Tarantino's.
Yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino's resort home. No, they were really freaked out about that. But there were no bones or anything. But they just would never go to the second story because that house had a hole in the middle of it. So they're like, I don't want it to fall in and shit like that. There was also like a tree house in the middle of a clearing that was like totally Stephen King-esque is how I would describe it. Being there. This is my story.
Yeah, this is true, yeah. From your first-hand account.
So the kids went back to the cabin and told the adults, and they're like, there's like a ghost town out here, and we've never heard of it. And the parents were like, yeah, we haven't heard of anything like that. So this guy's dad was like, all right, show me.
They couldn't find it.
And they couldn't. No. So they show up, and the dad's like, whoa, this is so cool. That's what I would do, at least. I don't know how this dad was. And they found a house with a bedroom that was basically intact, like sheets on the bed, clothing everywhere, like pillow with the indent of the head on it, but dusty.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. A super thick layer of dirt and dust and shit like that. And at the bottom of the bed, there was like a fur coat. Like an actual, like a silver fox or a wolf fur, like that kind of gray fur. fur coat, and the
That
dad
wasn't there before.
Yeah. No, the dad being thrifty was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I'm gonna take this fur coat. Let's see if I can fix it.
Oh,
Like,
I was like,
this would be great.
I was like, he's being a dad, so he probably just puts it on. He's like, oh, kids, look at me. I'm
yeah,
gonna
no,
fur
you
coat.
look at me. No, there are a couple holes in it. He's like,
And
I could sew that up. Give this to my wife. I could never afford this.
Yeah.
So they take it.
Yeah, dead woman coat for Christmas.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is not bad. So they're walking out, and this kid is like, you know that feeling where it's like eyes on the back of your head?
Eyes on the back of your coat. Yeah.
No, like you're being watched, like you can feel
Yeah.
it on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
He kind of gets that chill. And they're, you know, a couple hundred feet away from the house, and he turns around, and from the second story of that house, there's an old lady glaring at
And they
them.
just fucking robbed.
They just robbed
Jesus
an
Christ.
old-ass lady.
They found all this cool jewelry and old bills, and they're like, damn,
Yeah.
let's take this too.
So,
She can't get down the stairs because there's a hole in the floor.
yeah, right. There's like, she's got a loose bun, she's got a blue shawl, and they described the lady pretty well. And the kid was like, oh, I feel guilty that we just stole this lady's fur coat. Like, obviously, she's living in the middle of buck-ass nowhere. Like,
It's the only coat
the
she has. It's the
fuck?
only thing that gets her
Yeah.
through the winters. So it's going to hit
Seriously.
like 40 degrees and she's just
gonna
going
be
to
dead.
die.
yeah. So
God.
he ran up to his dad and said, hey, we got to put this back. There's a lady still living there.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I thought
we
he was.
probably scared the shit out of this lady.
Deep down, I was hoping that he didn't say anything. And he's like, and I've always wondered what happened to her.
Yeah, and I always wondered if she made it through the winter.
Oh, God.
So when they turned around, nobody's in the window.
She hid. She's like, oh, shit, they're
She's
coming
hanging.
back.
She's hanging from the window. It's like, I won't freeze to death. I'll take it in my own hands. No, so he's like, she must have come downstairs. So they turn around, and one of the windows of the house next door slams shut. Like somebody just shuts the window.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck happened? So the kid was freaking out. Kid ran into the woods, ditching the dad. The dad's just standing there like, hey, I'm sorry I took your coat. Like, come out. I'll give it back. Like, come here. I don't want to enter your house because
your
I
house
didn't know.
is a shithole. We thought it was abandoned.
Yeah, so they're, apologizing. All of this stuff happens. The dad goes inside. Doesn't see anybody. Goes upstairs. Doesn't see anybody. Equally a mess. Equally dirty and dusty and shitty. So he just dropped the coat and ran like dads do back into the forest to the kid. And then within about 5 years, the government bulldozed the whole place.
While she was inside.
So ghost?
Maybe.
Or old
I
lady?
think she hid in the hole in the floor.
Yeah, those are her shoes.
Yeah. She I would imagine she hasn't seen people in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And so as soon as they show up and start taking her things, she's like, I'm not going to confront them.
Yeah.
Like, she's just terrified. She's like, oh, God, they're so willing to steal my stuff. What the fuck are these people going to do to me?
I don't blame any woman
Yeah.
not wanting to confront
Yeah.
a random man in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
that just walked into your house earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for that. Or she was a ghost because there was still dust everywhere.
Yeah. She turned
Yeah.
into dust form.
She turned into dust, yeah.
That's what ghosts do.
Exactly. Another one, I hiked one of the high peaks with a buddy of mine. We camped out overnight. The first day we were there, it was fantastic. I had a great night's sleep. I already know this story is a lie. Nobody sleeps great on the trail. And they woke up to just hike back to the parking area.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty snowy. They're up high in the mountains. And on the way back down the trail, they noticed somebody else's footprints in the snow. Jesus Christ. In the sand, I mean. The footsteps in the
Walking
sand.
behind them, yeah.
There was a third set of footsteps in the sand? I don't know.
No, it was only one.
Oh, there was
set of
only one set of footprints in
'cause
the sand.
Jesus was carrying.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Did you not feel his arms? Like, what? I'm confused.
Yeah, right. No, they were his footsteps, but Jesus didn't leave footsteps because he's a vampire.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's right. They walk, and then later on in the story, they talk about going past a mirror
Mm-hmm.
and how they say, "Hey, maybe we should go to like a nice Italian restaurant." And he's like, "No, too much garlic."
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that Jesus
Yeah.
story.
That's my favorite one. So they're hiking back down the trail. They're seeing these other footprints, and they're like, okay, nobody really passed us, but, we could have been asleep.
Mhm.
They could have hiked up late.
They could have hiked directly into
So they, on the way down, in the snow, written like with a stick, was this dude's full name and address.
What?
And they're like, what the fuck?
Like his own, or like the people came down and wrote their own
his
name
own
and address?
name and address.
Ooh, they found his ID.
And they're like, what the fuck is happening? And it had been snowing through the night, so it was early that morning, and they were already up super early. So somebody in the middle of the fucking night went up and wrote his name, but how do they fucking even know his name?
Jesus.
So they freak out. They hike as quick as they can down to the car to get out of there. And then he remembered that he signed into the registry book.
Oh.
Never put your fucking address or your real
Jesus
name
Christ.
in a registry book. Use a trail name. That's the moral of the story. Because he looked at the registry and all of his information was scribbled out.
Oh.
Like somebody had just scribbled out all his name and all of his information that he put in.
We've been trying to reach you about,
about
your
your
car's
car's
extended
extended
warranty.
Yeah, and nobody else has signed into the book besides them for the last 3 days. So there was just some dude fucking with them, probably, or trying to murder them. Who knows?
Oh, God.
Quebec, hiking in Canada. Pretty much they were pretty much alone. Backcountry up in Canada, and they.
So what, like downtown Toronto?
Yeah, on the street, yeah. And they hear some rustling and some shuffling outside their tent. They're like, it's probably a raccoon or a possum or something like that. The next morning, they woke up, and there's just dozens of cigarette butts at the base of their tent. Like, somebody had just stood there and smoked the whole night in front of their tent and then left.
They were guarding them from the demons.
Yeah, they were the demon slayer.
Yeah. The protector.
The demon protector.
That was Nightman.
Another one, this one, I like this. They were down in the Wilson's Creek Wilderness for a weekend trip. A dude and his friends. At some point, he wakes up, and the dude he's sharing the tent with is crouched in the tent holding a knife. So he goes, I'm going to die.
Yeah,
This guy's going to fucking stab me. And he's terrified, and he says, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey, what's going
on? And the guy said, shh, listen.
He just wakes up and goes, what's up?
What's up? No, he goes, shh, listen, almost threateningly with a knife. And he says, I'll do whatever. Like, in his head, he's like, I'll do whatever you want.
Suck
just don't
my
kill me.
cock.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he listened, and
Well, you didn't need a knife to ask me to do that, bro.
about 5 minutes later, there's a weird voice. Like a long, drawn-out call.
Mm-hmm.
It was just middle of nowhere, and it was like echoing off the mountains, and then it went quiet. So he gets up, and he's holding a knife, too, and they're like, what the fuck is happening?
And then they started sword fighting.
And then they hear it again. Hear this weird call. They don't make out any words, but there's just this weird call. So he's like, there's a crazy redneck out here or something. Something's going on. So they're like, let's just stay as quiet as possible because we're in like a blue tent. So we're not stealthy at all. So let's just be quiet. And they could hear it getting closer and closer.
It's a
and
Wendigo.
then going past them and getting further and further away. And they're like, oh, God, what the fuck is happening? And they basically stayed up all night. And they were really confused. They tried to talk about it, and they're like, what was that? They could not figure out what was going on. So they pack up, and they start hiking out. And after a few miles, they come across an orange ribbon on the trail. Basically stabbed into the ground. And if you don't know, that's a message from, like, search and rescue.
Oh.
On this orange ribbon, and in this message, it basically says that there was a day hiker who got lost the day before. Keep an eye out.
They just left this guy to die
So-
on the mountain.
They were like,
They'd been
oh,
collecting.
shit!
They'd been collecting these fucking
Yeah, the ribbons.
ribbons.
So they were like, oh, fuck, that was probably him. And we just stayed silent and let him cry out, freezing
That dude's
without
dead.
food for 24 hours. What the fuck was going on? And he was like, he was moaning like a ghost. Why wasn't he saying, help? Help me. Is anyone there? He was just like, whoa. Then he was found that day, which is good. But they could have saved him the night before.
Oh,
They could have given him food
Jesus.
and water and shit. I'm like, God damn.
That's
If you're
hilarious.
lost, don't make weird noises. Just say help. You know,
Ah.
anybody out there is way better than zombie moan. It's fantastic, really.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I've only got 2 more quick ones. So here, hiking the ridgeline between Lincoln and Lafayette in a rainy day in spring. But they were enjoying it, despite being rained out and real windy. So they hang out at this old, like, fire tower foundation that's on Mount Lafayette. You know, any kind of good shelter, it's fantastic. You just stay there.
Yeah.
So they're hanging out at this stone foundation that was a fire tower. They're eating some lunch, and a dude just kind of pops out of the forest wearing a jean jacket, and he walks past them, and sits on the other side of the foundation. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, he's not super geared up or anything. He's wearing a jean jacket. They're looking up, and out of his pocket, he pulls out a carrot. And
He's
he just starts
hungry.
eating it.
Mind your own fucking business, damn.
He said nothing. They stared at him. He finished the carrot, stood up, and walked back into the forest. And that story is weird
Jesus.
enough. I completely believe it.
Oh yeah.
Why would you make something like that up?
There's some fucking weird people out there.
I'd love
I'm
it.
like, yeah, I could see that shit happening.
And then
God.
we got this is my favorite, and it is a great lesson to learn from this. If you get freaked out alone in the woods, you know, this whole episode has been a lesson for you. I woke up in the middle of the night to a beam of light directly over my tent. I thought someone was standing over my tent with like a big headlamp or something, but I didn't hear anything. So I said, hello? Anybody out there? No response. Finally, after a couple of minutes, he works himself up, kind of gets the courage to open the window. And nobody's there. But the light is beaming down on him.
Mhm.
So he's thinking, fuck.
Oh shit.
So he's got, it's like this perfect beam directly around his tent. So he grabs his pocket knife and some bear spray. And he says he gets ready to just, you know, if it's aliens, whatever, if it's, I don't know, a helicopter spotlight, he's ready for whatever it's going to be.
Bro, sometimes you just gotta get probed. It's okay.
Yeah. So he gets out of
Let
the
him
tent,
let him learn.
and it is a beam pretty much directly onto his tent. And he looks up, the moon came out behind a cloud, and it was just perfectly right there. So he worked himself up for like 15 minutes.
Jesus,
he was amping
dude.
himself up that he was about to get abducted by
Oh
aliens.
God.
And it was just a cloud moved.
Was that a story you wrote? Was
right?
that your
It
experience?
sounds like one of mine.
Oh God! Oh fuck!
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
I'm gonna pack.
Oh, it's the moon.
I'm gonna pack a fucking like a light that
No,
has
and
a little.
yeah.
It has a battery pack, and I'm gonna rig it up above your hammock when we're out there. It's
No,
gonna
I'm-
be like 20 feet high. I'm just gonna turn it on at like 1:30 in the morning, and you're gonna wake
God.
up and be like, oh God, what the
Okay,
fuck?
okay. No, just tie your flashlight to my drone and fly it out up in the middle of the night.
I gotta tell you this. So, my mom accidentally called me. She doesn't talk to me normally.
we don't talk.
No, she called me by accident the other day, and I was telling her, "Oh yeah, we're going on this hike. AJ's gonna bring his drone," and she goes, "Oh, did I tell you about your nephew?" And I was like, "What?" So I guess he got a drone
Hell
back
yeah.
for Christmas.
Did it cut him up?
Dude, no, it's so much better. So he got a drone around Christmas. Didn't really use it a lot during the winter because he was really nervous about it falling in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
So a few weeks ago, like, he's been flying it. He's been learning how to use it and everything. And they live out in, like, the middle of nowhere like west
Yeah.
Utah. And
Wow, dox them.
yeah, right. He's
Wow, you're saying that they live on the Dugway test range?
oh fuck.
Fuck.
And he's flying it out there, and a fucking hawk
Oh shit.
swoops down and just grabs his drone and flies away. And he was like, "Fuck."
Oh my god, I love it.
I
That's
was like, "Oh no!"
amazing.
So she goes, "So tell your friend to watch out for hawks while you
Okay.
guys are out
I
camping."
will watch
I was
out
like,
for hawks.
"Duly noted." But yeah,
Oh, when I told you about fishing up where we're around where we're gonna stay, and that amazing luck I had that one time. Every cast I pulled in a fish. What I didn't tell you is that there were also just hawks diving in,
I'm sure.
pulling out fish like
That's cool.
nothing, like 6 of them.
Damn.
I also caught a frog with my hands. I just grabbed him.
Hey, there you
I
go.
was like, and I squished him, used him as
Lube?
toothpaste
Oh,
and lube, which is the
Same
same thing.
time,
Same
same time.
time. Yeah.
oh,
No,
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals up there because we're up in the wilderness. Like, no motorized
Yeah.
vehicles,
I'm
nothing.
excited.
It's gonna be great.
I'm pumped.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be a good time.
Hopefully, we don't see anybody. I am not bringing a gun because that is heavy.
Yeah.
Ammunition is heavy for my AR-15
This is-
or my shotgun with a magazine.
God, I was just imagining like your little 6-shooter or whatever. It's like,
No, if
yeah,
I would
mean
bring
that's
one, I'd bring a little
inconvenient.
revolver. But yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
it'll be a good time.
I gotta go back to work.
Hopefully this
Right
isn't
now.
the last episode ever. You'll find out Sunday night if we don't get back. There will be a post on Instagram about
Yeah.
our deaths.
It'll be a missing person poster
Yeah.
with a
Have you
reward.
seen these two fat fucking idiots?
Yo, wife, who's gonna listen to this? If we don't survive, take whatever money's in the Patreon, and that's the reward. If a patron finds us, you
Yeah.
have to be a patron to be able to.
Yeah, you don't get to
gather
keep the money.
Reward.
You don't get to keep it.
Yeah. Hey, clear the account
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
we'll empty it. We'll,
Yeah, it would drain the account.
we'll empty it and we'll go on a nice little vacation. We'll
Hell
go to
yeah.
a motel. And
We're just going to.
we'll spend all the money on dildos.
Yeah, we're going to an hourly motel.
All right.
All
Well, as usual, if you guys are interested or you would like additional content, go check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/points-o-pressure. We do an extra exclusive episode per month that's available to all tiers. We have our Sloppy Seconds episodes. They're like 20 plus on there, and we're planning on doing more. AJ's working on a series called Voices. And yeah, there's just a bunch of additional content on there. So pop on there, click around. If you don't subscribe, that's A-OK. If you don't want to do a monthly subscription, then go to our website, pointsopressure.com, and click on the support us page, and you can go to do like buy me a coffee, whatever. And if you can't afford that, we're just happy with you listening. We're glad that you guys are here and
Yeah.
tuning in.
And if you would like access to our life alert alarms, join the chair or the board. So Minnie D, Toddle Waddle, and Weston, thank you guys so much. They are the chair people,
Yep.
the chairmen of the board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
women get some representation
Yeah,
on
what the
their shit.
hell? No, but yeah, if we hit life alert, they decide whether it gets forwarded to the local authorities.
Yeah, this is true.
It is to their ire, and they have to do a vote. It has to be unanimous. And of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Kitty Titties, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Hayden, Lara Revo, Lindo. Thank you guys so much for being here, supporting us, and
Yeah,
you know,
you guys have done a lot
listening.
for us. We really do appreciate you.
been a big year for growth. So
Yeah, thank you so much. We can't fucking thank you enough. And as always, if you guys ever have any suggestions for shows, movies, fucking music, books, magazines, I don't know, articles, if you have show ideas,
stories.
yeah, anything, you want to share memes, by all means, or feedback, especially feedback. Please reach out if you have any feedback for the show. Get to us on Instagram at pointsopressure, or go email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com. I'll catch you guys next week.